Welcome to the Tech Bite. Today I provide news about Huawei, that how Google's Huawei Android restrictions mean for you. So let's get started. The news that Google has blocked Huawei's future access to Android updates, for both apps and timely security updates, not only casts doubt over the entire future of the Chinese smartphone manufacturer's business, it also could have wide-ranging implications for the future of the global smartphone market. After US President Donald Trump placed Huawei on the entity list, limiting the business US brands could do with Huawei, Google has been forced to restrict the company's access to the Google Play Store, which means that in the future users won't be able to gain access to popular titles, nor to speedy security updates to the Android OS. In short, Huawei will no longer be able to offer access to crucial Google apps, and will be severely limited in how quickly it can give users access to the latest versions of Android, and the new features and security updates those offer. What does that mean if I have a Huawei phone? The temporary lifting of the ban will also allow the brands to prepare better Android support for current and future models, meaning that Huawei will be able to do business as it has been for a little longer, so current customers will be able to benefit for longer. Huawei has also told us that it will continue to do all it can to support all its phones currently out in the wild, and is looking at other implications of Google's decision. The company told us, Huawei has made substantial contributions to the development and growth of Android around the world. As one of Android's key global partners, we have worked closely with their open-source platform to develop an ecosystem that has benefited both users and the industry. Huawei will continue to provide security updates and after-sales services to all existing Huawei and Honor smartphone and tablet products, covering those that have been sold and that are still in stock globally. The fact that current models will be offered updates doesn't mean you can rest easy if you're a current Huawei owner, though. How long this support will last for is, as yet, unclear, and it's unlikely to continue for years to come. While most smartphone brands will only honor security updates for 2 to 3 years after launch of a new handset, one might expect this to be much shorter in the case of Huawei phones. Given these new restrictions from Google, will future Huawei phones still use Android? The move from Google means it will no longer work with Huawei directly on issuing updates to its system, and won't give the company access to the Google Play Store. This is a potentially critical blow to the brand, which only recently spoke out about its plans to be the world's largest smartphone manufacturer. This means that if Huawei wants to keep using the Android operating system, it will need to use the Android open source platform, WASP, which is a free platform that any brand can use as an underlying foundation for its products. However, along with the Google Play Store, it won't have access to the core Google apps like YouTube, Google Maps and Chrome. These are core elements of Google's business that it's not duty-bound to make available to anyone. Without access to the Play Store, Huawei would be forced to work directly with developers to get them to create versions of their wares for its phones. This situation would be similar to that of Amazon's Fire OS, which is based on iOS but has its own app store, as the retail giant seeks to control the platform its Fire tablets and Echo devices run on. If Huawei does have to use WASP, the consequences could be devastating, as access to a fully stocked app store is crucial to the success of any modern smartphone. Nokia and Microsoft failed to make Windows phones a viable alternative to Android and Apple's iOS, even though both brands poured millions into developer tools and enticing the top app creators onto their platform. However, Huawei has claimed that it's been developing its own alternative to Android for nearly 7 years, calling it a Plan B that's ready to go. What about other brands? What does this mean for the wider smartphone world? While these sanctions don't currently affect other brands, the message being sent is clear: global politics can have dramatic implications for the manufacturing and marketing of consumer devices that have become indispensable for billions of people. While there's currently no issue at brands headquartered in other parts of the world, A similar sanction could see other smartphone manufacturers forced into a costly rethink. Advertisement. A few years ago, Samsung seriously threatened a breakaway move from Google's Android operating system, as it felt the search giant had too much control over the operating system on its Galaxy smartphones. It worked to develop the Tizen OS, which is still used on devices like Samsung's Galaxy smartwatches, triggering negotiations with Google about allowing more freedom for manufacturers. It's worth noting that while Samsung did release smartphones based on Tizen, they were budget models, and didn't come anywhere close to the success of its Galaxy phone range. The big beneficiary here could be Apple. President Trump has long advocated for the brand to move its operations from China to the US, and exempted Apple from the trade tariffs imposed on China so that the brand wouldn't have to raise its prices. So is it all over for Huawei? There is a glimmer of help for Huawei's continued use of Android and the capabilities that offers. The recent ban lifting means there's a real chance that negotiations can be entered into with the US government, allowing the brand to prove itself safe and move out from the middle of the trade war between China and the US. This is far from certain, but things certainly look a lot less bleak for the brand. Google has also confirmed that it's reviewing the situation and the implications of the US sanctions. It doesn't want to limit the reach of its Android ecosystem, and US brands like Qualcomm are going to be severely impacted by the Huawei restrictions, so will likely lobby to have this decision re-examined. However, if Google is forced to cut Huawei off from future Android security updates and access to the Play Store, then it could not only make things difficult for Huawei, but may cause consumers to view any Chinese brand with suspicion. And given the proliferation and technological prowess of the latest phones coming out of the country, that would also have a huge impact on the industry. So while this move seems to only affect Huawei right now, it's going to have a knock-on effect for the entire industry, and will most likely have implications for the next smartphone you buy. And it could also mean the rise of a new mobile operating system, and potentially a serious challenger to Android. That's it from this video. Hit subscribe and bell icon to get our tech, gaming and tutorial videos and notifications. Smile.